The sun has set on an era and on a life that witnessed and had an impact on much of our country's modern history. We are here to bid farewell to a man who had a vision of a shared common future for our country. This vision was his enduring preoccupation even in the latter years of his life. On this sad day, we remember his words on the day he stepped down from being president of the IFP. He said, "A lifetime would never be enough to serve a country, especially a country I love so much." Love of South Africa was the one overriding passion that defined Prince Buthelezi, because he was a man who just loved his country. Umntwana was a voice also for the marginalized and the vulnerable. Who can forget his courage when having to deal with deeply personal matters that affected the vulnerable people in our societies? On International AIDS Day, on the 1st of December 2004, when he told the world that HIV/AIDS had struck inside his own family, taking away 2 of his children. With this act, he helped to break the stigma around HIV/AIDS, saying, "My belief in the glory of the human spirit to rise again and again is stronger than ever before." 29 years ago, on the eve of the first elections in our country, South Africa stood on the brink of catastrophe. Despite the excitement building up to the historic event, the country was in turmoil, raked by a spiral of political violence that had begun in the mid-80s. The country was also under threat from a right-wing uprising and from so-called third force elements sowing discord amongst our people. Today is not the day to point fingers and cast blame. History will, in the end, be the true arbiter. There were genuine, well-founded fears that in such a climate, the transition to democracy would not happen peacefully. Through negotiations and serious engagement, we were able to step back from the brink of turmoil. Shenge would later say that he had agreed that the IFP should also participate in the elections, not only to avoid disaster and reduce tension, but to contribute to peace. There can be no doubt that this was a turning point in the transition process and a decisive moment. All leaders understood too well that we share a common goal of a better South Africa. What Shenge's life has taught us is that our differences must never stand in the way of our South African nationality and our nationalism. Like many of us, Shenge endured many trials throughout his life, yet he remained focused and steadfast. The Buthelezi family have suffered an irreparable personal loss. But as they go through this valley of darkness and sorrow, it is my wish that as a family, they should hold on to the proud and enduring memories of their father and grandfather. We share in their sorrow, and I know that they would wish us to share with them the many rich remembrances that an impactful leader like Ubaba Shenge evokes.